Awesome, awesome. We are live, and I'm so glad
Yay.
okay, so nice, nice, nice. We did it. We did it. We're
We
on. Yep.
did it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I want to say thank you so much, Jeanette, for coming today and for being a part of this opportunity so that we can get your information about who you are, how you serve humanity out in front of the masses. How about that?
Yes.
And on all of
Yes.
our podcast interviews, you will be up on permanently listed on our posted on our YouTube Unity and Service YouTube TV channel, as well as we will send you a copy of the cut and edited content under 15 minutes each. It will be in two segments so that you can post on your social media platform. And Unity and Service, our team also promote all of our interviews. Before the event, we announce it, and then after the event, we post as well the actual interview because we want the people to understand how you serve, inspire to healing humanity. So with that, I'm
Yes.
going to jump right in. I'm going to read your bio, give everybody a little bit about you. Jeanette Bass is a grief and purpose coach, end of life care coach, children's book author, and compassionate grief advocate dedicated to helping individuals and families heal after loss. Drawing from her personal journey and professional background in social work, Jeanette transforms pain into purpose through education,
Yes.
storytelling, and faith centered support. She is the author of Granny Wonder, Stopping the Villains of South of Social Media,
Yes.
and can and also Can I Call Heaven?
Yes.
This guide leads children through the grief with hope and understanding. Through Inspired to Healing with Jeanette, she creates safe, inclusive spaces where healing, resilience, and renewed purpose takes place. That's my story.
Yes.
I love your story, and we're going to stick to both of them. How about that?
Yes.
So
Yes.
we're
I
going to
love
jump
it.
right in. We're going to jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I got a few questions I want to ask you so we can shed light on how you serve humanity. And the first question I want to ask you is how did your personal experience with grief shape the mission of Inspire to Healing, and the No Grief Zone? I like that word, no grief zone. I think I told you that when I first met you. And I'm
Yes, you
just going to
did.
run
Yes, you
that
did.
question again. How
Yes.
did your personal experience with grief shape your mission of inspiring to healing and the no grief zone? In 3 minutes or less, lay it on us.
All right. Well, thank you for asking. Thank you for having me. Well, how my grief journey started when I was 8 years old. I was traumatized at the fact that my grandpapa was no longer with me. And that really did something to me. But one thing I can say, my grandpapa was a deacon of the church and he believed in God. So I always was taught that God is our father. So it made me start to seek more and look after God for the things that I wanted and needed at that time in my life. So the grief that I was experiencing, which I didn't know what I was experiencing, led me to this path now. And I understand how it is to feel a lot of anxiety and feel lost and feel lonely, the loss of a loved one. And I didn't want anybody else to go through that. So here I am. God gave me the vision, and that's what I do. I try to do the best I can when helping people feel more, not alone, let them know they're not alone, and give them some support and tools through my journey, my education of being an MSW. Yeah. Okay. Um, Dr. Pat, I'm sorry to say, but I could not hear your question. Could you repeat that, please? I think it's the mic, and the mic is gone. I can't hear you in my mouth. Who is emotionally insecure? Dr. Pat, I can't hear you. Your mic is on. I'm sorry. I can't
Okay,
hear
I
what you
apologize. I
said.
apologize.
That's okay. Okay, could you repeat that? I'm
My
so
next
sorry.
question then is, you often say that pain can be transferred into purpose. What does that transformation look like in real life for someone who is newly grieving or feeling emotionally stuck or
Okay.
insecure?
Or insecure? Okay, when I talk about turning your pain into purpose, I mean a lot of times people go through life experiencing different types of grief. I just want to start right there. So when I say your pain turn into your purpose, that it could be a loss of a child. You know, some people lose the loss of a child and they feel like they could never, they give up, they stop communicating, and they forget who they was prior to the pregnancy. But yet one day they may have said, you know, I may have been a good writer, or they have been a good person who comfort others, right? And so through that pain, they probably decide to volunteer. Okay, once they got to volunteer at a children's shelter or volunteer as an aide to mothers who are single, right? And suddenly they realize that that pain that they experience a loss through giving back the love to someone else and supporting someone else, they realize that that is the talent and that could be the calling that God have them for. So that possibly if they have had that child, they wouldn't been able to have free enough of their time to give the love and support of their experience to someone else. What I'm really talking about is your test that sometimes God put us through is a testimony, and you can gain strength to show somebody that yes, I can make it. If I went through this and I can make it, and so can you. So a lot of times people find their purpose in life, their God-given purpose and talents come out of them through that pain of the grief to where they realize that all that was not for nothing. It was to give to someone else. So that's what I mean when I say that.
Very well said. I like that. You explained it very well. Pain can be, and I have to agree, transformed into purpose. I've been there.
Yes.
I've been a caregiver, and I know exactly what you mean. And
Yes, exactly.
many blessings come out of the fact that we give our time to serving those people that we care about. And, you know,
Exactly.
just taking care of them, being there for them. And then we may not see it at the moment, but
Yes.
at the end, and sometimes during the process, we see
Exactly.
the blessings that are there. My
That's
next
right.
question is, why is it important to introduce children to grief in a gentle, faith-centered way? And how can caregivers start?
Well, it's very important to, okay, number one, today's kids are smarter than I would say I was. Why? Because they have the smartphone, they have the internet. Long time ago, how I was raised not the family not to tell their kids that this loved one had passed away. They didn't think kids really understood that the purpose was sometimes if they don't see them, they eventually forget about them. But kids are smarter than we think. So it's very important when they don't see someone or they don't, say if they lost a pet that they grew up with, they're going to feel that pain. And a lot of times kids' emotions are studied, you know, they're still dealing with their emotions, so they don't know how to accept it. So they will act out in anger, depression, all types of things. And it's important that they understand what grief is, why it's okay to grieve. And that's why I think it's important for parents who are having problems with their adolescents or kids that understand what grief and loss is to get professional help to help them move past it and just talk to them and be present and support them in that. So I think that would help a lot of children and families move past what they would call the adolescent stage. Oh, they're doing that because they're their age. No, a lot of times these kids are hurting, but they feel they don't have a safe space to talk, or they feel that their feelings are not respected or just pass through so they don't say anything and they suffer in silence. So that's why we need to stop these babies from hurting by explaining to them that it's okay to grieve. It's okay to miss that dog. It's okay to miss your friend, but life still goes on.
Awesome.
And it's
awesome. Life
yes,
definitely still goes on. So the best thing for us to do is embrace it,
embrace it.
accept it, and definitely look for the blessing in it.
Yes,
Because there's a blessing in it. And then we must keep moving because there are other people that need to hear our stories. My
yes.
next question is what do you wish more people understood about grief?
What do I
About
think? What
healing,
people?
about grief, about being resilient. What do you want more people to understand?
Well, all of that. I want people to know that grief is not something that people can just get over. That's one thing, because a lot of times when we lose our, and it's just not one-sided where someone will lose a loved one. Grief happens to all of us in different ways. Political grief, what we're going through now, where people are losing their stability. They don't understand the financial situation. That's another thing. The second thing that we need to also keep in mind, that disenfranchised grief, like I just brought up, somebody who lost their child or somebody who has had a divorce. And through it all, we all need to understand which stage of life we're in and what process we need to go to, because God is in control of it all. There's a blessing in everything that we go to. And I believe that's why it's faith centered, that when God gets, sometimes people have to be broken for God to talk to them, for them to be still, for him to speak and tell them what they need to do. And a lot of times we crying and we want to get out of the way, but God is saying, no, I want you here for a reason. So there's a purpose in every pain that we feel. And that I truly believe that. And it's everything is faith-based, or if whatever your higher power must be, there's some greater good in what you're going through for someone else. So I believe that that's why I say your pain and your grief, you need to practice mindfulness. You need to journal. You need to seek a professional if you need to. Do whatever it is to shake it off and continue moving to the purpose that God have you for. And there's a lesson in everything we face in life. So that's why I feel that it's important that I create safe spaces, virtual office, so people can be in the quietness of their home and they don't have to worry about anybody laughing or joking, because they have the time to sit with whatever it is that's bothering them and deal with it head on personally. And I think that's what we're lacking in the world, a lack of safe space for people to really actively grieve and let them know it's okay to do so.
Awesome. My last question is, what message of hope would you share with someone grieving silently, which is what you just mentioned? What message of hope? If I'm grieving silently, what would be one of the suggestions that you would like to share with me?
If you was grieving silently, the first thing I would do is ask you, I would be present with you, and I would say, well, Dr. Pat, how can I help you? And if you're not answering, I will give you the opportunity to respond when you are ready to respond. Sometimes being silent and being present is the best answer for someone. And then I would ask you to come join the community, to sit in, to make you feel a lot better and get you more comfortable, to take down that wall that you may have had, which a lot of people have up. See, the problem with society is we always talking and trying to fix it. You have to allow God to fix it and just be present. Being silent is enough for a lot of people.
Awesome.
So I would start with that first.
Awesome.
And once you let your guard down, well, God will do the rest.
Yeah, we do. People do need to be heard sometimes.
Yes.
And I've even had my son tell me sometimes when he shared things with me, he shared with me, he said, Mom, I don't need you to comment. I just need you to listen.
Exactly.
And that's huge. And you're right. We're so busy giving those responses out, trying to come up with the right answer when they didn't really need the right answer, because whatever it is that they're dealing with, they got to go through it anyway.
Right.
And I like what you said when you said just being present. And I want you to let everybody know how they can get in touch with you. Right below your name, there's your email address.
Yes.
And they can email you, because what you do for them as it relates to a grief coach. I heard you say something about you get with them, you're present with them, and then you said you would invite them into the community. So I assume you have a community or a resource that they can come to so that they can become a part of something positive, an environment that will help them ease the grief.
Mhm.
So could you tell us just a little bit about your community?
Well, I have a community that I'm building, and it's called the Healing Bookshelf. And when you go on the Healing Bookshelf, there is a lot of blogging, inspirational blogs that you can read. There is a place where you can join a healing virtual group. There's also a one-on-one mindfulness practice that I do online with people. Mindfulness meaning that they need to live in the now and not worry about the future, because today is the day that we should be celebrating everything. So that is pretty much where they can go and find all my resources, my journals, Can I Call Heaven, and also an upcoming event, Dr. Pat, I have coming up. Can I talk about that?
Yes, you have about a minute. And
Okay.
I'll put all of that information in the description when you send me the information. I'll be happy to
Okay.
put it in the description.
Okay, thank you. I also have it's called an AI Everything Healing Challenge, and I decided to go ahead and do that. That's going to be on for 5 days, but it's going to start on the 12th through the 16th. So anyone that wants to get with the new AI era and make money remotely, I'm doing the class, and it's advertised on the Healing Bookshelf. And if you want to Google me, just Google Jeanette. I'm sorry, No Grief Zone by Jeanette. When they Google the No Grief Zone by Jeanette, you will get all my resources, and you can be able to reach out to me anywhere on any of my platforms. And I didn't answer your question. No grief means there's no grief in God. In the
Awesome.
Lord, there's no sorrow. And he don't want us to grieve for anything, because he provides everything for us all to be able to enjoy the world
Awesome.
that he has for us.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. This has been an amazing wealth of knowledge, tips, strategies, and processes that people can use in order to get through the grief that we will all be faced with. If we haven't, keep living, people,
Yes, keep
because it's
living. Yeah.
coming. And that's just the way life is. That's a guarantee. And preparation, I love all the information you shared, because preparation is definitely the key. And this is why we need coaches like yourself to be able to educate people. And I know you'll be speaking for us at our upcoming event on January the 16th. And
Yes.
we're looking forward to hearing more about your
Oh,
strategies
I love it.
and tips that you have as it relates to turning our grief into pain, our pain into purpose. So with
Yes.
that, we're going to close with the affirmation. I have an affirmation. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to close with a commercial about our upcoming event. But I just want to say that to all of our listening audience, that you cannot have success without sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something. So with that, I want to say thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on January the 16th. With
Thank you
that,
so much, Dr. Pat.
welcome to Elevating Business Strategies in 2026. Join us on January the 16th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. When you attend, you will receive a 3-minute introduction to position yourself confidently, 2 powerful networking sessions to build real connections, 15 new leads shared in the Zoom chat, 1 custom virtual background to elevate the brand, and a copy of the replay to revisit the strategies anytime. Don't miss this opportunity to grow, connect, and be visible. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, Visibility Strategist, and I am the CEO of Unity in Service, where people